This video is being done on the 21st of Shavat, which is my brother's Yahrzeit. Strangely enough, all this information is being brought to me by him. This is my greatest insight. I'm going to give it to you orally here because my phone flip-flops. If I have it written right, it goes left. So this is the first. I'm giving it the way it came to me, and then how it led. Everything came out for me out of the aleph of the letter Avraham, of the name Avraham, and how Yitzhak and Yaakov came out of the aleph of Avraham. You have to understand that the principle is everything comes out of the letters, and everything really comes out of the aleph. So how did this happen that Yitzhak and Yaakov came out of Avraham as the three patriarchs? And it's the way that the letter is written. Now, again, I don't know how my hands are going to be here because these phones are screwed up. The yud on top of the aleph of Avraham becomes Yaakov. Excuse me. The yud on the bottom of Avraham becomes Yaakov. The yud on the top I have it the other way. The yud on the bottom becomes Yitzhak, Yaakov's son. And the yud on the bottom becomes Yaakov. And so, I said it all wrong here. Well, the two yuds are Yitzhak and Yaakov. Obviously, they're flip-flop. I think the yud on the bottom is Yitzhak. I think the yud on the top is Yaakov. And strangely enough, Yaakov becomes Yisrael, and that yud is preserved. There are other things now. This was just to get you to hang up, to confuse you. So then I went to some of the other things. Adam and Hava. The first letter of Adam is Aleph. The first letter of Hava is Het. These two letters spell Ach, brother, which is brought to you today all by my brother. But there's such a deeper thing here. The spellings out of the name Adam, of Aleph, is Yud Vav Yud. That's 26. And the spelling out of the letter Het is Vav, little house on top, and then a Zion. So Vav and Zion come out to be 13, which is half. Because in a certain sense, Hava is half. She's the half that's split. So the two of them together are a whole and a half. But it's 26 for the Aleph, Vav, Aleph. You see, I'm confused. I'm upset. I'm dead. This is being brought to you by a dead man. I'm speaking like a puppet. All this is the deepest stuff you'll ever hear in your life. We've been channeled not to receive this kind of material by schooling and authorities. But the real material is in the letters. Simple. Because there's a simple experience with God. So this first, what is here? So the Aleph is Yud, Vav, Yud. That's 26. And the Het is Vav with the Zion, that's 13. Well, the 26 and the 13 come out to be 39. And those are the 39 Shabbos laws. So the 39 Shabbos laws are brought to you by Adam and Hava, just in their first letters. They're Kedusha letters. And the whole idea of the Cayenne and Hevel relationship and what caused the continuum of the fall is again brought to you by the Ach of the father and mother of Adam and Hava. As I'm doing this, I'm forgetting. I actually had more earlier. I had some stuff on Avraham. And if you write out the Avraham, where did he get the hay? So the question is, where did Avraham get the hay from? The hay is gotten not from Sarah, like they say, Sarai became Sarah and gave the other hay to Avraham. No. Avraham got the hay from Hevel. I'm going to repeat this. Avraham got his hay from Hevel. Hevel was also, as is known, a rectification of Hevel was the Ayil in the Akedah as the substitute for Yitzhak, who was Cayenne. He's a substitute. Hevel, my brother, took my place. He took my place in death and left me here to bring you this. The hay in Hevel, in Avraham, is from Hevel. And then my greatest secret of the letters, because there's an obvious relationship between Hevel and Cayenne. They're the two letters that don't connect the left leg. The hay doesn't connect the left leg. And the kuf doesn't connect the left leg. So in normative understanding, the hay and the kuf have some relationship anyway, and that's the first letters of Hevel and Cayenne. Strange that my number in tennis was 105, and that's the linkage here of kuf, kuf, and hey. But there's a great secret in the name Cayenne. I'm going to bring these later. The name Cayenne is the only letter that doesn't, the only name that doesn't go on the lines. You know, all the letters right, you know, go to the bottom line. Cayenne is the only name that doesn't go to the bottom line. It goes, Cayenne goes Kuf down below the bottom line, Yud the top line, floating, because it has no connection to the bottom line. And then Nun, final Nun, starts on the top line with a Nun, and then Yud, and then goes down below the bottom line. So the great secret of Cayenne is that he doesn't stay on the line, on the bottom line. He goes below the bottom line, and that's what's happened to me. I've gone below the bottom line. It ain't easy. He's my brother. So this is the only name that goes below the bottom line. All other words and everything have a stop, you know, like Adam. You think it's below the bottom line. Well, no, I mean, it ends on the bottom line. That's the beauty of the letter Mem, the final Mem. Because as water, it doesn't go below the bottom line, it stays on the bottom line. It's the only final that stays on the bottom line. But Cayenne has no relationship to the bottom line. Sinks below. But it comes from the Yud that's above. It comes from the Yud that's floating. That Yud is Yesod. It's floating. That Yud is Ein Sof. That's floating in the center. Center of the body. Your center is that Yud. Yud, by the way, has the gematria of 466 when you spell it out. That gematria just so happens to be my brother's name, Shimon. Brought to you today by Shimon. The letter Yud. It's floating in Yesod in the center of the body. And everything has to get in relationship to that Yesod. This is a whole dealing here with the letters themselves. How do the relationships of the letters. I gave it mixed. This is the way it is. This is the way I received it. I'll write it down, try to show it. But always remember that these things are for me. These things are for me, like the vitamin C. That friend of mine, dear friend of mine, sent me and I'd like to take it on the screen here in my most important video, because this video is going to be the push and the direction for the rest of my understanding. Supposed to take it with meals. Thank you for the vitamin C. It's very meaningful for me and to me.